Hello, everybody out there in internet land. I'm Calvin, once again, joining you for our final Pensword Adventures stream involving the Brackeys Game Jam. There'll be future streams in the future, just they won't be about the Brackeys Game Jam 2026.1, as they're calling it. So yeah, we're gonna get started here and just kind of continue work on the game. I made I want to say, like, pretty good progress off stream. I got home a little bit late last night, and this morning I worked a little bit as well. And yeah, I've made some good progress. I think we've got a real shot of completing this thing. It's going to be a lot of just kind of setting up actual environments and doing art today. So here we go. Let me move into my corner. Zoop. Do a little turn. We'll hit a little music. Select my music. My little music, like little workflow I've designed. It does have the hi Dylan. Thanks for joining us once again. I was going to say my little music thing. It does just pull directly from my Apple Music library, so it does just recommend I play some Taylor Swift right on stream, right at the beginning, which I think would be a great way to get demonetized immediately. All right. Let's see what we got. Music cooking there. Can we hear the music? No, we can't. There we go. All right. Okay. Music there. Type. Screen on. All right. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a good day. I can kind of show what I've got so far. I'm also going to turn off all of the collision stuff. That's kind of clogging things up, making it hard to see. Yeah. Sometime I should just try to figure out what's the quickest and biggest way to get demonetized on YouTube. Is just play a whole bunch of Taylor Swift songs, who's all I think also a lot of Final Fantasy songs get immediately demonetized. So maybe that's the way. Taylor Swift covers Final Fantasy. All right. And I'll also get rid of that. Okay. Have music going? We do, okay. Just quiet on my headphones. All right. So currently, this is going to be the little kind of in between and room, the little ship you'll start on. After a countdown, it will teleport you down to a planet where you'll have to do a task. In this case, I just need to get into this little green zone. And I can go run around. I can pick up objects. I can throw them, and they respawn after death. But I'm just going to jump into this, and then after I do that, I'll have completed the task, and it'll teleport me back to the ship. I also get points, and we can do rankings of who got to the point first and all that. Then after a few seconds, it'll teleport me to the next planet, and this time, I've got a few seconds to get as many cubes into this green zone as possible. Yeah. But I've also set up certain ways that you can have it. I can die, and I can have respawns turned off on certain planets, but I'll still come back on the ship. And that round I scored 3 points. Sweet. So each of these environments are separate little instances I can manipulate. So in this case, I've got the secondary environment. I can set how long this round goes. Sorry for stuttering 5 times there. I can set how long that round goes. I can have it. You can respawn. I can win. I can set up to be you win by how many lives you have at the end. Yeah, thank you. I can have set spawn points because right now it just randomly chooses one of these. I'm going to turn it down just a skosh. I can have these goal zones. I can have them contribute an amount of points. I can have them only score via the pickups. So if maybe one planet, it's I toss a ball into a hoop and that's a point, or versus I need to like run in the actual character needs to get to like a goal zone or something, like it's a race. What else did I work on? I think. Oh, and also my spawn point system. I can add a pickup, have it instantly respawn it after the pickup is destroyed, and I can remotely change the different attributes of the pickup when I spawn it. So I think that's a good spot for now. I now need to do the complicated thing of figuring out who won a match or who won a round. So I'm going to do that in game control. Calculate round winner. All right. I've got just kind of testy stuff here. I know Godot has just basically a little like function you can write for like organizing an array. Godot sort array. That's right. Okay. Func winner or point sorting. Also I'm planning currently on having the planets kind of pre-set up. I'll do the art for maybe I could have like some like elements be randomized, but I think for now just I could even just make it be like I'll make like 5 similar looking planets, but they all are randomly chosen between. Just so I don't have to worry about like making some like really complicated procedural generation, I'm also going to move that there. Sorry, I'm just kind of reorganizing my OBS window real quick. There we go. And I also want to switch it from top chat to all chat. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, for the quick game jam game, I think just all handmade environments will work out fine. So I now know how to do my function. So it is var I want player index 1. Do underscore. It's going to be an int index 2. Yeah. No, thank you for the question. It was more just I was even kind of like mentally working through it as I was answering. It was like, I think handmade environments work for now. Yeah, string. Okay. Score 1. That will equal player manager dot get data player index 1 key var score 2 equals that. Oh, also let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah. I could very much easily see this as something, where I randomly place, maybe like where the actual like pickups will be, depending on what the environment is. I kind of get this basic flow, I wanted to basically do a fake kind of match where I start it up and it'll just kind of go through each environment to back to the ship and all that, maybe 3 or 4 times, and then it'll end, and then we can see how that looks. And then once that's figured out, we'll actually figure out what each of the multiple environments will be. Because I think basically, as soon as everything's in place, the rest of my time until upload is just going to be adding more and more environments. I will also be making like 2 or 3 like tutorial environments that you can optionally have start out your game, where it's be like, here's how you move, and it's just the goal for that environment is just get to the goal, and then the next one it shows you how to pick up items and throw them. Just so like new. A lot of this I've realized is unintentionally inspired by the game Boomerang Fu, and Boomerang Fu also has kind of basically, it's kind of a similar setup of you do kind of like multiple rounds, and you can set it so the first round is always the tutorial round that shows you how to play. And I think that's a good way to handle it. Yeah, thank you. Or one to score 2. I will also need to figure out bots. Bots is going to be a thing. Because I need to, I would like, I think I could quickly program in just like a real easy computer player that just knows where it needs to go to do things. I want to try to get that in. If it starts becoming really complicated real early, I'm going to abandon that. But hopefully I'll be able to use most of the same systems. I gotta take a drink here. Okay, here we go. Okay. We are going to create a list of all the players. We are then going to sort current players. Let's sort custom, and then yeah, point sorting. Let me change that then. Because we need basically all function. A lot of kind of programming computer players is just kind of giving it basically trying to think of the wording. You give it kind of basically logic of like a whole bunch of if statements if is what you're pretty much doing. It's just like, if there's a thing in front of you, go for that. If there's an enemy, do that. You can like tell it like, give it percent like random chance of like doing the wrong thing or right thing. That's kind of how I've always programmed it. It's basically just giving it a whole like list of if statements and like conditionals of like, here's what you want to do this if this. Sorry. Lives points. Points. There we go. And I'm going to do pretty much the same code here. But instead of round points, we're doing lives. Some sort. I know it's wrong currently. I'm going to swap it. Half finding would be another thing. That is also a case of I'm not fully sure how easily I'll be able to get that done. Well, so that'll be a test. But I think I can basically just like throw on, I want to say navigation. Yeah, navigation regions and tell it to kind of navigate through that. But we will get there when we get there. It'll be mostly a case of, does this game even work enough to have other computer players understand, Yeah, thank you. I had somehow triggered my Amazon Alexa there, so I had to quickly yell at it to stop. Oh, I know what I said. I've got my Amazon Alexa triggered to a different word. I have it kind of like a Star Trek thing. Oh. So when I say the word that's its trigger word. So me talking about a certain type of knife, like CPUs, really freaked it out there. Okay. I think you can figure that out. I usually mostly use my Amazon Alexa just for like a convenient alarm clock, just so I can like yell at it to change the time for alarms and things. But okay, I want to pick up. Yeah, scored 1 point. Scored 2 points. Can I get one endpoint in just so I can test? Okay. Ooh, it crashed. Good. Can assign a type of array to a variable type int array. So I'm going to get into the spawn system and just tell it not to. I don't need to know where or what spawn point we're choosing anymore. Actually, I do, because I remember now why I had that set up in the first place. Okay, this is... Whoa, my gosh! Okay, that's another thing I forgot I need to fix. We need to eventually make it so the spawn system doesn't spawn two players at the same point back to back. Otherwise, it will cause issues like that where they get stuck on each other. Okay. Let me get to the Trello here and we'll figure out what we want to do here. Rank characters and ship. I'm also going to move random spawn points, but without overlap. Yep. Come back to that. It'll just be a random quirk for now. I'm also going to make sure random spawn points, but don't overlap. I'll also add spawn points only visible spawn points. I thought I fixed that already. If visible. Oh. Visible. I think that should fix that. Yep, good. Sweet, okay. That was an easy fix. Basically what I did there was the classic thing I messed up last time is basically when the spawn points parent checks its visibility and it was going to disable anything if it wasn't visible. Problem was it was on technicality visible, just the parent above it wasn't. So that's what I need to check for. So is visible in tree will check all the ancestors above it. That will get us what we need. Okay, I can sort players. We are reaching that point where it's like, I need to start figuring out what I want this game to actually be in order to kind of lock it down and make progress. Okay, I think that's what I want. Yeah, okay. Bum 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 bum. We'll do winning text plus equals. So this will be rank, player, and then player manager dot get player data, and then I need to calculate var score or key string. Key equals Lives. I've got a tentative plan for this game once the jam is over. I kind of like a lot of the mechanics of it, of like the moving and jumping. I don't know if like the sci-fi premise or setting will be stick around. There's an extra element I kind of want to add to it afterwards, but that might actually be the theme of a future Pen Sword Adventures episode. So I'll kind of keep that to my chest for a little bit. Player and keep. And then I'm going to do a check if. Ooh, shucks. Size. Player. Index. And you know what? We're going to do the classic kind of programming quick for loop thing where we're using the variable I. Not dot I, just I. Okay. If I, yeah. Eventually, we'll come back to game development in Pen Sword Adventures, which might be one or two episodes from now. Plus one, still less than current players dot size. Also, I need to do the range, I think. So from 0 to that, minus 1. Wait a moment. And we're equal to. Score 1 to score 2. I'm making this a little more cumbersome than I probably need, but what are you gonna do? Plus I versus I plus 1. It does not equal. Score 2. Then rank plus equals 1. Mm-hmm. Sorry to get really heavy with the just kind of straight programming for a little bit. Because this is like just kind of like the last big block of just pure code stuff, a lot of number calculations. We're almost out of it. We're almost out of it. No, I should probably calculate the rank. Because basically I want it so if like I have, make a block of code here so I can kind of explain it. You know, rank 1, 15 points. Rank 2 scored only 10 points. But the next guy also scored only 10 points. And then the guy after that scored 5 points. So in this case, I think it should be, you know, they tied for second. And then this guy would still be in fourth place because he's still placed below that. I believe that's how it should be. So the question is how I get that. Rank. If rank equals 1. The eye should help me here. If I plus 1, so in this case, it should be greater than rank. Maybe we need to go up. I think that's the way I calculate rank. -1 is greater than or equal to 0. And what you're going to do is we're going to get that and get that. And rank equals I plus 1. Yes, I think that should do it. Also put that in there. This little character basically just adds a new line. So we did also do that here and here. Problem is I only have 2 players at the moment to check this on because I got my keyboard and my gamepad. Also, I need to figure out the little hitch that when the second player spawns. Get that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Didn't quite do everything I wanted. I might also add a line of code so it adds it to this log here, just so I can kind of keep track of it after I close the game. Player spawner. Well, we can turn this off because I've got it kind of figured out for now. Where's my debug controller? Oh, also I'm going to turn off. I don't need a. Just kind of clogging up to see all the score changing. So I'll turn that off for now. And then debug manager. It's my own record keeping. Zoop, zoop. Okay, that one got in first. I'm going to try to win with the controller. Shoot, this is kind of the hard one to win because we both just have to get into the zone. Once again, didn't quite calculate correctly. Okay, well, you'll see this guy should be in second. This guy should be in first. Player 1 should be in first. Incorrect. Let's see here. Game control. Is range inclusive? Exclusive. Okay. Then never mind. Okay. I think the keyboard came in second. You know what? Real quick and dirty, we're going to add a label above the characters so I can kind of keep track of these guys. Now that we're in It Kind of Matters mode. Label 3D. In 3D! P1. And make the outline like 50. And we are going to flags, we're going to have a billboard enabled. So always, or basically billboard and basically always orient towards the camera. It's what billboarding is. You know, and even in the final thing, I might keep that player label there just because it's helpful to have on hand. Character control. So type label 3D. I really like this thing where Godot, you can basically just drag all your nodes from the scene over here and just drop it into here and it'll create all the variable stuff for you just and assign it. I just wish it would also use the type that you want. There might be a way to do that. I just have not investigated enough. Setup. Player index. Player label equals text P and then the player. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, yeah. So this on ready thing will basically say on the start of the game, it's going to grab this node from my tree. So it's looking for player label. Boom, got it. Problem is when I just drag in with the on ready, it just says this generic variable will be equal to this thing. What I like, and what I'm doing here is called static casting. So basically, player label will always be a label 3D. If you don't put the little, that's like just a colon, right? And then the variable type, it could be anything. So move speed without it, this could be a float, it could be a string, it could be whatever, and each time you assign to it, it could change. But if you static cast, for one, it makes give you a little bit better performance, but also when you're typing out things, it will give you warnings. So in this case, without it, I didn't know. I was just trying to assign a new text to the label. It's like, whoa, that's a label 3D. You can't just assign text like that. So I had to do .text, and I started typing in the player labels variable, and text is one of the options. So it helps with autocomplete. It helps kind of work faster when you stack type. So, yep, player 0, player 1. Get out of there, player 1! No, he died. But he's back. Okay, that's a good sign. Player 1 died once. Actually, that's a bad sign because that means the ranking is in the wrong way. 1 point, 2 points, 1 point. Thank you. Thank you for complimenting my explanations. If I was able to write it down, I'd be able to kind of like get it a little bit more coherent, I think, but thank you. I'm going to flip that. Do we want descending ranking? Boop, boop. Player 1, no! No! Oh, no. And bop. Yes. Player 0 won that because they lost less lives. I want to have these guys tie this time and see what happens. And now we wait. Player 0, no! Oh. Bat. Yep, okay, they tied. Sweet. You know what? I might have to, just for sake of testing, get a CPU player already set up. That way I can test to see if I have multiple people, if I can rank it in the right way. Okay. If player index is greater than or equal to 0, do the regular stuff. Else, I'll just do computer. ABS is absolute value, so it will get rid of that. Player manager. Let's see if I can join that word. I now realize I now have basically a code word I am not allowed to say while programming because of my Amazon Alexa in the room. So join this word. A little bit. It's a little backfiring. I want to kind of use the basic player manager as my system for adding computer players, but I'm worried it's gonna get in the way here very quickly. But we'll see. We see. Wonder if I could use -2 as the device. That might work. That might work. So instead of a negative number for the player number, we use a negative device. So okay. If, whoa, Lord. Player manager dot get player device player index is greater than or equal to -1 because -1 is the keyboard. Then we're going to do that. Otherwise, CPU player index. Well, I think we'll try that. Player manager. Just for now, I'm going to on my debug control. Oh, enjoy a snack. Funk. Didn't mean to start doing that. We're going to make a button. Debug. Touch to the top right corner. Dot join, and we'll do device negative. I think I can have it just always be -2. Sweet. Look at all these points I'm scoring. Yeah. Oh, Good to know. Good to know. Real quick, need to answer a text. Bop, bop, bop. I'm also going to take a sip of coffee real quick. All right, back in action. Looney Tunes. But cool. I'm going to also work. And this time I'll just be smart and won't spawn in 5,000 different characters. Ooh. I think I know the actual problem where it was. Spawner, I found. No. Spawn points control. There we go. Change, connect on visibility, change. Visibility change is called when it changes. Turns true if. I'm just gonna try that again. See what I did wrong. Oh no, yeah, okay, that because I was using fixed spawn points for the ship. We'll just turn that off for now, so we can keep on testing things. The little judder. I'm always curious about what that is. But whoa, my gosh! Let me try that again in a way that wouldn't be detrimental. Also, this is going to be a problem because this is the environment where, in order to win... Oh, also I have cavalcade of problems on that one. First things first, let's make it so I can't accidentally trigger the button over and over again. Also, let's be smart here. Focus, disabled. Sweet. Programming. Okay, I'm just going to get to the next level. Nope. Gotta get 1 point in. Come on, go. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. That should... Great. No. Crud. We're close. It's just, it needs to calculate a little differently. Game control. Okay, let's go through the logic here, my friends. Okay, we're starting from the top. Rank equals 1. If the 0 minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0, then we do this code. It doesn't, so we're just adding to the line. Next one, I minus 1 equals 0. Shouldn't equal 0. Also, let's just make a real quick get player name function. Get player name. Get the player. Int. Return a string. If get player data, player device is less than -1, then it's a return CPU player. Nope. You're in the right spot there, buddy. Else return the bump. I want to say this is called string concatenation, but I don't think that's the right term. Sounds like the fun right term, but I don't believe it is. Character controller. Player manager. Get player name. Player index. Sweet. And then game control will do the same. Get player, current players. Okay, I'm going to copy that real quick. Cut player manager dot get player name. Hey. Oh, no. That's fine. Actually, no, it's not fine. I'm going to make it so it always adds +1. Parenthesis +1. Hey, welcome back, Dylan. I don't know if you were here when I did it, but I added a add CPU button that just kind of adds a brain dead character there. So not brain dead. That's not fair to it. It's very smart. It just has no brain inside it at the moment. Can it die though? Let's see if it dies. Yeah, cool. So now I can test on multiple characters to see if they rank correctly. Okay. I'm going to have player 1 score 1 point. I'm going to have player 4 score 2 points. Yeah. No. Okay. We've got the results here. We can figure this out. What's going wrong? Okay, so our first player, -1. Okay, so our first player just goes through. It adds the rank. We're out. That was the score. That should be like good. That works. Our second player goes through. Adds +1 to the rank. I thought this should be giving just me an 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure. Let's see. Debug manager dot print debug print. Just print I equals, and then doot parenthesis I. So in theory, it should be 0, 1, 2, 3 should show up here in between my rankings. Okay. 1. And we'll go now. Go get, buddy. Okay, that time the ranking worked out well. 0, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So that's correct. Try it a little faster this time. Don't worry, we'll carry it to victory, buddy. Swap environments. Okay, I want player 2 to score 2 points. What? No. Come on. Yeah, okay. Okay, so it just works now, and not sure what I did that fixed it, if anything. We'll call it good enough. Okay. The problem I face now is I want to be able to calculate an overall winner. So basically, I want it to be whoever wins the most amount of rounds wins. So you could do really well in one round where you're just scoring like 20 points while everyone else scores none. But if you lose every other round, it won't matter because you need to win that round. I think I can do that. Sorry, I was deep in thought there, trying to think about even how to go about it. Because I set up a while ago where was it? Yeah, total points. And maybe I'm making it too complicated. Yeah. Would you just code that by making 12 points scored in rounds? Yeah. I think just maybe I'll make it less complicated. It's just total points is scored by adding in round points. Yeah. It's a thing where it's like I don't know because am I making it too restrictive then by having it be only player, the top player can win, and like basically second place gets nothing, or do I make it so like you get first place gets 1 point, second place gets half a point, and so on. That might be it. I don't know, because then as soon as you get to like 3 players, then I have to divide by 3, and that doesn't come out even. Maybe once again I make it. Yeah, yeah. In that case, I'm also going to switch it so I convert lives to points. Yeah. I talked a lot about my quote unquote enemies in the Pen Sword Adventures episode for when it comes to programming. One of the big ones is also just I'm really indecisive a lot of times. How do I convert? Because I want it to be. No, no, no. I think I got. I think I got. All that's fine, and then I'm going to convert them all into points based on rank. Because I want some rounds where it's just survive, or goodness gravy. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Uh, I make a constant array. Points for rank. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. So, like you said, we'll just get something on the board. Float equals. Points. 5 points. 3 points. Whoops, that would have been bad. Just accidentally, if you place 7th in particular, you get like 8 points by accident. How do I set up an array? Maybe doing it like that is what's having issues with. Okay, I think that should do it. Just make it a variable for now. Player manager dot change round point. Do I have a total points? No. Let's make that a function real quick. Score player points. Oh, I do have. Cool. Player points. Player. Nope. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Basically, it was going through this range from 0 to, in this case, like 3. And instead of getting the player who is ranked 0, player who's ranked 1, player who's ranked 2, player who's ranked 3, it was just getting player 0 and, player here. So basically, I was not actually looking at the players, I was looking at their rankings for trying to calculate. That should do it. Total points. And then points for rank. Rank +1. Might be too much. We'll at least test it. We'll see. And then we'll do just a little debug thing here of figuring out total points. A little break there so I can kind of see it better. Just gonna kind of copy a lot of this here. I don't like how I have like essentially 3 very similar sort functions here. We can change that. We can change that. String. Rank sorting. And now I can do all that in one go instead of having multiple functions that do essentially the same thing. And that's round. That's round points to you. And show me my errors. Yep. So now we then basically gonna do this again. But this time I want to rank for the total points. So k equals total points. Don't need to type it. There we go. Do a lot of this. Get rid of that. Okay. In theory, we should have something working here. And I'm just going to have this character die so you can see if that works. And as you can see, we're ranked correctly, and then I got 2 points for a victory. Oh, I know what I did wrong there. Instead of adding... Yep. Basically, the rank was going to go into this array and to choose the amount of points. Still wasn't quite right, I don't think. Yeah. Basically, it's a classic zero count index? Zero index, yeah, okay. So when you deal with indexes, they're zero base. So instead of this being number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, it's instead starts at 0. So this will be number 0, number 1, number 2, number 3. In my mind, I was accounting for that with the rankings. So rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4. But instead of going back 1, I did +1. So it would be rank 1 would go here. Rank 2 would go here. So we should now be finally in business. Player 1 is going to score 1 point. And then player 2, I'm going to have you score 2 points. And now we wait. The fixing the spawn issue is going to be coming sooner rather than later. Yeah. So now, still not right. No, yeah. The ranking is incorrect though. That will need a fix. Okay. Why are we doing it like that? Game control. Change the current sort key, correct? Yes. Ah. Now this one's a thinker. Let's try again, see if I can't figure it out. Player one, I'm going to have you die. I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, I forgot I still have the key on my keyboard that just allows me to disable inputs. Okay, why did we decide 3 is bigger than 5? Whatever, we'll try. Can't remember if I showed off this environment. I have it so you do not respawn in this one. Once again, the points calculation is correct. The ranking is incorrect. So for balance, let me just calculate. Yeah, okay. What am I getting wrong here? Just to be safe, let me current players dot clear. Do that. Was there anything else? Score does not equal that. +1. I didn't sort the list. I didn't sort the list. Current players dot sort custom rank sorting. No wonder it was not coming out in the right order, because I didn't tell it to set it in the right order. Come on, come on. And there we go. Right order. Let's have player 1 do better this time. No. Oh, stream. How we doing? Okay. Sorry if we had a little stream hiccup there. They're all tied up. I'm going to add a few CPUs. OBS likes to be like really freak out whenever there's even like a little bit of like a lag or latency, and it's like 5 different warning messages show up, and it says, and there's like yellow, like, you know, error indicators everywhere. Oh, everyone's decided to spawn together. Okay, sweet. 1, 2, 3, boom. I got 5 points for that. They got 3 points for that. They got 2 points for that. They ranked tied. Nice. Hope you're enjoying your classwork. Work, I guess it were. Sometimes it can be just good to like idly noodle with a script. Okay. We can do rankings. We are in it, my friends. I'm also going to start disabling some of these debug lines. I like the throw one. Debug. Yeah. Just to kind of make my debugging work a little bit better. Okay. Let's make it so these guys don't spawn right on top of each other anymore. Player spawner. Okay. We can ignore all this set fixed spawn points dealio. How do I do this? I think I got an idea. Yeah. Okay. What I'm going to do is basically have all of these spawn points be areas. When an object is inside that area, it's going to flag it as do not let someone spawn here. That's actually not going to work, though, if I'm spawning everyone in one time. So I might need to have that be something that gets flagged. That can be also flagged by the system. Okay. Let me think through this. Okay. We're in it. We're in it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I will make a new area 3D node. I will then give it a nice collision shape 3D. I'll now make it a different color than the other ones I was using, just for my own fun. You need a shape to you. I'm going to make you a sphere. I'm going to make you just a little big. That way we'll know for sure if someone is in our bubble. Yeah. Okay. Spawn point. I will now put this in. New script. Spawn point area 3D. On Funk ready. I'll pass real quick. Funk on player. Entered. Area. Player exited. Bar. Safe to spawn. Equals true. On ready. Area entered dot connect on layer entered. Well, now I'll also do that for here. Area exited. Connect on layer exited. Safe to spawn equals false. I think I can do that. Currently in area. Sorry to get a little angry on that one. It's just that we're in the just write it all down kind of code stage. Area 3D. I have it listed currently in my zone. If area. If we don't already know that that area is in our zone, then we are just gonna add it to the area. Currently in area dot append area. Area. Erase. If our currently in area dot size is, don't know how you can get less than 0 on an array size, but we're gonna leave it like that anyway. Safe to spawn equals true. It's control. I should make this control. But, oh well. Get children, include internal. Good, false. And also, just to be extra super duper safe, we'll set all these guys to false. Now, I need to remember how my zone checks work. Okay, 5 is goal zone. What on the character is set to 5? That doesn't seem right, because I can turn off the ability to be monitored, right? Character control. Let's find my dodge code. I'm doing both. Let's not do that. What are we doing here? Monitor. Oh, sweet. Okay, I think we also accidentally unintentionally fixed a bug there, because basically, previously you could dodge through a score zone. But I don't think there should ever be a reason why you'd want to dodge a score zone, so we're going to turn that off. Instead, we're just going to mess with what collision layers we're working with. And we're also going to now... Where are you? Collision, doop boop. You can name these different collision layers. You don't have to, but I'm doing it just to kind of help remember what each one currently is. So here, we're going to use this for spawn detection. And we're going to set to the 6. Character 6. I think that's good. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Should have all of my stuff kind of organized a little bit. So we're going to move pickup. Move pickup. Yes. And pickup control into my pickups folder. I will now add one for my... So that'd be my goal zone. I want damage zone. We'll leave it at that for now. But now... Spawning. There's spawner, once all that, move that there. Okay, hopefully nothing crashes. Sometimes moving things in Godot gets a little funky. I've got a window right next to me at my desk, and I can see the sunlight slowly fading. Spawn point. We're going to make a new instance of that. I think also we just need to be monitoring. The way I can just see... I won't be able to, for my own sake, see what direction this guy is facing. Guess there's not really... Let's see if there's a fun node that can do that. Oh yeah, nice. I don't know. It still feels like it's getting brighter every day, a little bit longer, but we're also still in the zone of like it gets dark way too fast. 3D. What music track is playing currently? Yeah. I understand. I want to say I don't think I have seasonal depression, but I would not be surprised at all if I do. It even just if it's not like a clinical thing, it just bums you out, makes you seepy. Okay. Let's now create some spawn points. Well, I'm kind of up in the air, so they're not. Actually, kind of keep them on the ground for a little bit. Call this one spawn point 01. Yep. Yep. I was kind of mentally thinking like what I would want to add to my Calvin character rig here, and one of the things I want to do is like just some way for it to detect when I'm looking like at chat, so it can like automatically turn, so it doesn't seem like I'm just saying like yep and things to just out of nowhere. So yeah, still, and yeah, I agree. The what how you handle it is up to you. It's just I should have done this on the ship environment first. Let's just do that now. Shipe. You kind of on that grid. 3. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I hope to get to the animation and rigging. I guess for this project, I'm gonna get to that hopefully here in the next hour. Hopefully. Ooh. Uh, but for the pen sword or just kind of the tutorial zone, hopefully you can get that sooner rather than later. There we go. These guys should be all up out of the way enough. Okay. Now we actually go into the player spawner. One point. I'm gonna make this a class. Oh yeah. No, don't worry. That we will be getting to the animation stuff soon. For the actual project, it's I think I can 3D model a lot of what I have in mind pretty quick. So don't think like you're twisting my arm to do some 3D modeling or art. Oh, I've done something horrible. Make this an array. That was my problem. No. Oh, you're all good, Dylan. Valid spawn point equals. We're gonna make it actually just a. Make it just a node. No. Spawn point. Okay. For I want to do a while loop with it, but they're very dangerous. Okay. Not size. If possible spawn points dot random spawn index is spawn point. If dot can spawn. Is that what I called it? Safe to spawn. True. Then valid spawn point equals you. And then we're going to break that loop. Else possible spawn points dot erase. No, dot remove at random spawn index. If valid spawn point valid spawn point dot save to spawn equals false. And then that. Okay, what's my warning here? What do we got? Variables used before being assigned a value. Equals null. Print. No, print error. So I do an error. Error, push error. No valid spawn. Point found. Okay. I want to make it basically a worst case scenario spawn point of just up in the air. Player spawner, where are you at? Just going to put that at vector 3 dot. And I'm going to do a little 0, like 15 in the air and 0 there. What do I think? What is this currently at? Yeah. So that should be far enough away from anything that shouldn't be a problem. All right. Let's see how this crashes. Yep. Let us make. I need to switch all these guys from markers to spawn points. I'm gonna make this collision shape a little bit more visible. Having trouble seeing it. Ooh, yeah, that's a good color. So now I can really hopefully see these guys, right? A little better. And for right now, copy, paste, turn off environment 2, turn on environment 1. I just rearrange things, make sure they all are nice and good, aren't intersecting with danger. Bring you up a little bit. Okay. Let's see what we got. Look at that. Everyone spawned in at good spots. And let's see if I spawn in somewhere safe this time. Sweet. Switch environment. Look at that. That is what we're talking about. No one's getting stuck. No one's freaking out as you were. Freaking out. Me and my army of beans. Huh. I didn't program basically like weighted like camera placement where it would try like get the most people in together, but just by the nature of how I programmed it, it's going to kind of naturally focus on the biggest cluster. Cool. Spawn points, but without overlap. We are done with that. All right. How long have I been going? 2 hours. Okay. You know what? I'm going to take a 1 minute break, and then we will do a little animation or a little 3D modeling work, I think. So I put that away for a second. I'm going to pause. I'm going to throw us onto a BRB screen real quick, and then we'll get to work on 3D modeling. I'm going to get up and kind of do a little stretch. All right. See y'all in like 1 minute. All right, we're back to it. Hopefully that break wasn't too long. Also, it might have been maybe too short for even a break, but we'll see. Well, so let us get to work on the modeling. I think I updated my Trello there. We're going to make a character model. We're going to speed run character modeling. First things first, I need to know. I think there's a way in Godot to export a model. So that way, yeah, let me see if I can export. Export. Project, no. Export as. That could work. Okay. Sorry, I just want while I'm messing around with my files, I don't want to like reveal anything. Good news, folks. I hit it and I got 11 errors. So let's see if it even exported anything. Okay, I got something. Let's see if I can import it into Blender. Also, the UI for Blender is going to be a little small. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger for everyone. And viewport. Interface, there we go. How does it look on stream? I'll go like 2.5. Everything's it's a little claustrophobic for me, but we'll make it work. See what happens when I try bringing this in. Okay, nothing imported. Can I do this? Nope. Okay. I'll clean up, make sure I didn't. Can I do, it's mainly just I want to know the scale we're working with here. I guess I can just kind of figure that out from my data. 0.5 meter to height, okay. Radius, 0.5 meter to nothing on top. Yeah. Radius 0.5 to sure. Oh, 64 radial segments. Let me try that again. Excuse me. Oh, 64 radial segments over here. 64 radial segments. And then up. Cool. "64 radial segments, radius of 0.5. What I'm doing right now is just going to be about finding, basically just creating a reference scale for like how big I have the player currently. And then duplicate that. So I'm making just a dummy dummy capsule here. When I eventually do the Blender tutorial, I'll explain what I'm doing, and part of it's going to be me just trying to remember not to do things extremely fast, because a lot of us, it's just like I know the exact keystrokes to do and all that, just to get capsule. We got Bean. I will now make Bean slightly transparent. Okay, let's make a character. I'm just gonna start out scaling up some shapes around. Actually, it's skin. Just gonna make like a little kind of a more bean-esque shape, kind of a, a little pudgy character. Nothing too fancy or crazy. I think that's a good shape. We're just kind of getting in some basic shape, getting some basic shapes in here. Just scale it up a little bit. That on. Still got music, right? Yep. I'm also gonna move this back for. No, we can keep it. Hey, welcome back, Dylan. We're just kind of getting started on character modeling. Nothing much. I tried and failed to. Oh, close that down. Tried and failed to like get just this bean exported out of Godot so I could have a reference size. So I just made a bean shape so I could kind of figure out what we're aiming for here. Now I'm just kind of doing some basic character modeling. I made kind of this more kind of like putty-esque kind of shape so I can have something to work off of. So it's going to be the head. Duplicate that again and make some legs. So. Oh, wait. Skin resize, eh? Actually, in order to make these like kind of more organic little thingies, I create a new cube. I smush it down into a single point. I then add a modifier on it called the skin modifier. I tell it to shade smooth. I then add another modifier called the subdivision surface and give it like 3 levels of detail. This will not be on the test. This is just kind of well, I'll explain more in detail when I get to that Blender tutorial. For right now, I'm going to use it to make a leg. I'll kind of make them move-like, I think. Kind of tall at the top, and then smaller at the bottom. I'm also going to lower the resolution detail, I think. Yeah, I can't remember if you're here when I said it or not, but for Blender, it's a lot of when I eventually get to that Blender tutorial, it's going to be a lot of me just kind of learning to explain what I'm doing a lot better than I am now, because a lot of it's just like, oh, I can, I'm doing all the hotkeys and everything I've been using for a while, just kind of doop doop boop, but a lot of it's going to be slow it down, explain each step of what I'm doing to get the result I want. I think it's basically the form I want. Yeah, okay. I'm now. I think we're still in the. Oh, let's bring the head shape down a little bit. And I can hide the capsule for now, so I don't worry about it. I am now going to cut this thing in half. Nope. I'm going to join the body and the legs. Yes, yes. Inside scoop. Right over the y-axis. Sweet. I'm just going to connect everything up. Nope, nope. Yeah, you're going to hear voices here from the song I'm listening to. I might mute it for a second while it goes through it. I need to remember it. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. I am taking off that track from my playlist of stream songs because it has just a whole bunch of talking in it. It's a really cool track though. Basically in Metroid Prime 1, they have a whole bunch of like logs for different artifacts that you need to find. And for this track, they just basically read through all the logs in song almost in kind of a poetry kind of way. It's really cool, but it's distracting when it's on stream. So where is it? Prophecy of yeah. No, I highly recommend if you're interested, check out the Harmony of a Hunter Returns album. It's really good if you're a big fan of Metroid songs, or even if you're not. I mean, it's good. It's good music. There we go. Song. Sweet. Once it's over, and they're finished with all the chatting. I also don't. I also find that sometimes like straight up dialogue gets caught by YouTube's copyright a lot easier. So we're just gonna play it in a little extra safe. I still don't have full trust. And 1, 2. The most rebellious thing I'll do, probably do in my life is just kind of play music on stream and just hope it doesn't get caught. Oh, now we're talking. How also how is the music volume now that it's back? Because yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks. The Justice Will Prevail from Metroid Prime 3. Sweet, thank you. Okay. My buddy has a weird kind of hip thingy going on, so we're gonna fix that up. No, this is a good rockin' track. Okay, and we'll get rid of that vertice. And that's a vertice. And even maybe this vertice. Apparently I'm just kind of figuring out how to attach my limbs. I wish I had a better like intuition for how many vertices I need to remove, because I think I might have removed one too many. Also, I like this part because it sounds like Justice League Unlimited. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah, too many edge loops here. Okay, we'll attach that. Touch that. Oh, actually, I know how to fix this. I remove these faces. Add in loops here. Loops here. there. Okay, I think that should create a quad there. Crud. No, wait. Trust the process. I have no trust. I've trusted. Yeah, okay, sweet. Everything's self-contained on my little pudgy guy. I'm going to go into sculpting menu. See if we can't clean it up a little bit. Let's see my wireframe. Just kind of maybe get this shape smoothing down a little bit. Weird, like little hip thing here is disturbing. I'll add some more edge loops here to kind of give us more geometry to play with. Give them a little bit of a butt. I always want to give your characters just a little bit of butt so they deform well. Oh, this is another really good track. Also, I realize now my music selection system, it does not have any order to what tracks it will use. It's playing them all in whatever order. But that's cool. That's fine. I kind of wanted that. I just didn't know it was doing that automatically. And I like this track because it sounds very much like Rogue Squadron. When I get into like kind of like RTS games like Command and Conquer, I like strategy games. It's just I haven't really I don't have that good repertoire of like what's a good strategy game for me to play. But yeah. Yeah. Like I did a little bit of I got my Steam Deck, the Star Wars Empire at War game. I played a little bit of that, but that one was just it's always the tutorials. Like I'm like, ooh, I like a lot of the mechanics here, but I feel like it's like too much mechanics, and I kind of my brain can't really keep up with it all. So we got like a good like introductory kind of like RTS or like not real time strategy game. I guess that'll just be a strategy game. Let's delete these verts. Okay, I should have done some like 2D character design before I just started modeling, but I think this will work out. I'm kind of picturing some boots. I gotta adjust these verts here. I don't want to spend too much time doing the rigging on this guy, so I'm trying to make the geometry nice and easy for a good deformation right out of the gate. Yeah, Total Wars I've also heard are pretty good. And I played a little bit of Civ at one point, but once again, I played like a good like few turns of it, had to stop for a little bit, tried to save, and then my save didn't load. So I was like, well, that's gonna be it for a little bit. I've not heard of Manor Lords. Is that RTS or just regular strategy? Oh, I'm gonna write that down. Let me. Oh, there's nothing doxing. Okay. I opened up the notes app and I was like, okay, quickly scan to make sure I didn't just like dox myself. Nope, we're all good. Manor Lords. Gonna check that out after stream. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that happens a few times. Like, I think Stardew Valley was made by like one guy for most of its development, but then, it got so big they kind of had to get some team people to kind of like help with like both the distributing and like also just the like online and things. Okay, the proportions aren't quite working here for me. We got a weird baby man here. I think the hands are what's throwing it off. Let's see here. And then we're gonna go up. I keep on getting ads on Spotify for a movie called Psycho Killer, and I immediately mute the ads because I don't want to have to ever deal with ads on Spotify. But it does make me always just do the Talking Heads kind of riff. So for a song I haven't heard in a good while, Psycho Killer is stuck in my head. Let's just make a circle. How many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's probably 10. Correct. Sweet. Let's... See, and the thing, it's like I have no interest in seeing the movie it's advertising. It's just it's getting me with the music. It's not even playing. It's just a name the same as a song. And delete these verts. I'm curious how this is going to deform when I start trying to rig it, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll turn out fine. This might be another track to remove from the list. It's a little crouchy. Don't want to... I know there's like some people who have like that thing where like static noise really sets them off, and I don't want to contribute to that kind of thing, That's why, like, there's like a few times in Pensword episodes I wanted to do like kind of a staticky noise, but I was like, nah, don't want to risk that. My dad plays the New York Times kind of like games, so like your Wordle, your connections, that kind of thing. And he's said anytime an ad like automatically starts playing audio on there, he's like he makes a vow to never buy anything from that company again. Okay, I think, I mean, that's a body. Going to kind of give it some loops here. I'm not going to make super fancy textures, but at least I'll have the option to, and also it'll give me the opportunity to see if things are deforming. Yep. What I'm doing here is I'm basically, in order to texture an object, you need to do something called UV mapping, where you basically tell the computer. I said the word. I'm sorry. You need to tell the program how you want to spread a flat image over a 3D object. So you basically you're basically you're splitting up an object into different parts and tell it. I'll just do it and I'll explain after it's done. Because I would waste more time trying to explain in generalities than just showing you. I'm basically marking seams here to tell the animation program how to split up this object into different chunks, and then it'll sew together an image with these chunks as the template, pretty much. Yeah. Some people can really get into a flow of it, and sometimes I can, of just kind of, going through, marking your seams and all that. Sometimes, though, it's like, I don't care, I'll have to just do the automatic break it up function. And with, like, human characters, it's pretty easy to kind of figure out where you need to break up the seams, because you basically just treat it like real clothing. So, like, a pant leg seam would be like right here, so you make the seam there. And I can go UV editing. So I'm going to select all my faces and hit stretch. So now each of these sections is basically the folded out flat version of the model. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a margin just so they aren't overlapping. So if I then threw an image over this, it would calculate where each seam, how the image would be broken up. And the goal for this is kind of basically have it, split the object in ways that would make sense and also would deform the image in the least amount of ways possible. Yeah, for kind of creator, I guess I haven't done super a lot of like 3D character modeling outside of just like, I've got a thing called the Sketchy Summer I do where every summer when I was in school, when I was off school, but now my girlfriend is a teacher. So while she's off school, every day I make one piece of art, and she has also been doing that last few years too. So during my sketchy summers on Blue Sky now, I'll make a new character model I'll do something, and sometimes it's a new character model, on any given day. And so yeah, for just character design in general, I just kind of like coming up with the cool like the fashion for it is often a lot of fun. Yeah, I think the clothing part's my favorite part. Just coming up with cool designs and cool clothing for characters. But for the 3D modeling side, I guess, just kind of when it finally comes together, I can start like animating it. That's always my favorite part, I guess. Is it getting too loud? The loud track. Yeah, no, I'm glad she's kind of joined in with it. Okay, I think that's already a lot better. Just kind of making him a little thinner. Sweet. Yeah. So if you kind of see here, you can kind of piece together what each part is. So like that's the sole of the shoe. That's the hand split up. I think that's probably the neck. Yeah, that's the neck. The torso, and shoe, and boots, probably. Okay. And so now I can kind of show you in the shading menu what happens when I've got something like that. So I can apply a texture on it. I'm going to just put a blank color grid on. So now it is going to take this 2D image of this color grid and split up that image across each of these segments. So yeah, there we go. There's our front. You can see, and then E2, that's the back there. Where's the H? Let me find the B. So yeah, that's the top of the boot right there. Oh, that's another track with music, or with dialogue I didn't know about. Let me remove that track. Ah. Okay. I'm going to keep this on for now just so I can kind of see it when it deforms a little bit. To add armature. Basic human. There we go. Before we even get further, I'm going to figure out what it looks like when I export this thing. So let's add a GLTF exporter, use my old presets. Let me hide my screen. Okay. Export to there. Let us see what happens when we export all. Let's see what happens. Test GLB. Okay, I'll now go into Godot. Look at all those errors. And we will test by just dragging it in. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop, stop, stop. Not yet. I need to make a folder for it. Character. Character test. And if I just drag them in, how are we oriented? They're facing out, X positive, Z positive, like that. So if I want them to face the correct way. Oh, let me show the screen again. My bad. Apologies. Oh, and also music's back. Okay. Just kind of get these two back side to side. We need to turn you to 90 degrees, like that. Now, when I export it again, it should be oriented correctly. And we'll just do one of these. I'm going to apply rotation to both of these. Yep, and that does mess up the mirroring, but that's fine. We do negative, or we do the x-axis mirror. Export all. Character test. Sweet. We are now facing the correct way, and we are also the right scale. Sweet. Okay, let's get to this thing rigged, and then I might call it for today. We'll see. We'll see how quickly we can rig and how quickly we can do just a simple idle. I will be continuing to work on this later. It's just I want to get quick food and then be just kind of working quietly on my own till like 5 a.m. So. Okay. What I'm doing is rigging. We're going to create what they call an armature. Yeah. Once this is all done and I'm able to recuperate on Sunday, I'll probably make a quick video, explaining the game and how to play it, and just kind of posting about it on the channel as just a YouTube video, not necessarily a stream. What I'm doing here is called rigging, and I am basically creating what's called an armature that basically is a whole bunch of bones that are actually called bones that tell the animation program basically how to structure moving this creature, how to deform this mesh, and we're basically giving it bones. Well, here's the rigid structure that's going to drive the motion of all of our animations. Yeah. And Blender's got their own, basic, just kind of, you could, I could set up so this is, the bone that moves. So I could rotate this and the hand would move with it. But what I'm doing is going to be using a plugin that's kind of built into Blender called Rigify that will allow me to put all these bones where I want, and I'll press a button and it'll generate a control rig for this guy. So it'll give me a lot of more options. It'll allow me to kind of like manipulate things, so I'm directly manipulating the bones themselves, which will make it a little bit cleaner and it allows for me to get more. It allows for me to not be messing with stuff, deeper on the actual character. Yeah, I love Rigify. It's also a what we call a non-destructive workflow. So basically, I can manipulate the setup of the rig as much as I want. I'll hit a button, it'll create the rig, and if I'm later like, oh, actually that isn't quite set up right, I'll go back onto this bone structure, edit it around, hit generate again, and it'll regenerate the rig, but it won't like lose any of the animations I've made. Yeah, I'm just kind of like placing all these bones kind of where they would be on like a real human body. So this hip bones would kind of be right about here, and the pelvis would drop down right here. The upper thigh goes down to right here-ish. I think that'll do it. Let me kind of now name everything correctly. Character. I'll name it rig character. I think it's pretty good. Okay, I will generate. And boom, look at that. We have a rig ready to go. So let me hide the character for a second. So now you can see we've got this whole structure of easily labeled control bones that I can manipulate to kind of get where I want. And they have a whole bunch of fun functions, including this nice UI on here that I can kind of like hide. I don't need all these like really fancy tweak bones visible, so I can hide those. I did realize I made one mistake. I'm going to Highlight all these bones and switch these to Euler. Not Euler, it's Euler. It's pronounced Euler. It looks like Euler, but it's pronounced Euler. And I will do the same here, because I know we exported correctly. Cool. So now let me get the body back. Oh, I'm gonna hide the head. We'll use the head for now. I'm just going to have it automatically weights. So what I just did there was I attached the model to the rig with automatic weights. Also, shoot, I should also apply object, apply all transforms. Sweet. So now, I'll do it again. So armor should deform with automatic weights. It's now done a thing automatically called weight painting, where it says for like this bone, deform this part of the mesh this amount. So the red, it goes from like the blue, which means it will not deform that chunk at all, to like a dark red, which means it will do like maximum deformation. And each bone is across here, so like the foot will move there, toe. And this is done automatically, but then I can go in with my own brush and kind of tweak things if needed. But it's usually the automatic works pretty darn well. You can also do an empty group, so it'll set up all of that for me. Also, I forgot to apply all this stuff. So let me find the spine. Okay. So now I just automatically filled the spine 6, which is the head bone, with the full color. So now it'll get that full deformation. And now, moment of truth. Will it vaguely look like it deforms correctly? Okay. It's kind of scrunchy on that. Get a little scrunchy on that. There. Real easy thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a subsurface or subdivision modifier. Basically what this does is it goes through the entire mesh and just adds more loops like this. I think I can even show you subdivide maybe. Okay, well, basically, it does that. It creates a whole bunch more data to work with. But it does that after the effect, so it makes it easier to manipulate here for me. I'm just going to give all these a little extra form. Also going to add more edge loops here on where we're really deforming. That way it has more to work with. Okay, let's see if that helped out any. A little. Oh, getting a little lost in the sauce here. I have it do the automatic deformation again, just so see if I can calculate a little bit better. Ooh. I also make the meta rig a little better. Oh yeah. Look how off that is by me moving things. Breastbones are also way far back. I think everything got shifted around a little wonky. Okay, I'm going to regenerate, and now let's recalculate automatic weights. Hey, that looks a lot better. Oh. Well, it does when I don't rotate the body real weird. Add a few more loops there. Yeah. Giving it a little bit more stability there. Okay. I am going to make a animation. Editor. I don't need all of these bones right now. And then I'm going to... this is the X-ray button, so I can see all of my controls a little better now. Anim. I'm going to do that for character, and then idle. Also, the music is going crazy right now. Now we're just gonna get a little idle. Just pose in my character. I want to kind of be yeah. No, this is the song of my inner thoughts. I think that looks pretty good for that. So I'm going to insert a keyframe with keying set. We're going to key the whole character, so everything's got a keyframe. While I'm thinking about it, I was going to set up my frame rate to be 60 frames per second, so it's like what would be actually in game. We're just going to kind of do a nice little float kind of idle. It's going to look very similar to something like this. Little arm raise, little chest raise. It'll look great. Actually, the arms should when you kind of you're stanced up, you breathe in, you should kind of go. Arms should kind of go in a little bit, I think. Get rid of that. Okay. Body up. Close that down. I've got the auto keying on, so as soon as I manipulate an object, it will insert a keyframe for it. Okay, let's see. Nope, on the wrong frame. Okay. I think that leg needs to be back a little bit further. Okay. 20. Let's see, is this... Feels pretty good. How can we... and in college, I learned the term plussing a thing. So you can make a great piece of animation, but how do you add a little extra? How do you make it a little bit better? How do you plus it? Okay, maybe if I roll the shoulders with it. Thank you. Yeah. Like I said at one point, like my brain works a lot better in 3D, I feel. I can just kind of figure it out where things need to be. Dip the shoulders a little bit there. Maybe a little bit more swing back on the arms too at that point. I've also got a whole bunch of stuff set up to kind of make me work a little faster. On my mouse, I've got I don't remember what this is even called. It's a Logitech one, but basically it's got an action kind of hold segment on the side, and if I hold it, if I just click it, it does a thing. If I hold it and move my mouse in a different direction, and I can set it to do a different action. So what I've got it set up to do, if I hold the button and go left, I can go back to the previous keyframe. I can do right, and it goes to the next keyframe. If I just click it, it sets a keyframe. So I pop, like that. Oh, that's my multitasking, and I can switch. I didn't know I had that one on the bottom, but... You know what? I don't think I like the swing back as much as I thought I would. Yeah. I think the arms should go further out is the problem. Too far out. Maybe a little bit more bob, too. I can make it go up further on this part. Too far down. And here we're too far down, so let's... It's that extension I'm not a fan of. If I give this a little bit more distance, I think that also might help a little. Yeah, okay. I think that might help. I come in with too much velocity there, so it looks off. Actually, I know what part of the problem might be. Okay, I'm gonna switch. The IK parent, it's a fun feature of Rigify. It's basically telling you, what is this? What? Teaching IK. IK stands for inverse kinematics. Basically, if you're thinking of it, think of your hand and how you'd reach out to grab something. You don't think about rotating like, okay, I'm going to first rotate the shoulder this amount, and then I'm going to rotate the elbow, and then I'm going to rotate the wrist. You just kind of move your hand to someplace automatically, and your brain calculates how much it needs to rotate each joint in order to get to there. What IK does is basically it does that kind of calculations you mentally do to, like, you can move this square someplace and it'll calculate how everything in between needs to move. This is different than forward kinematics or FK, which does the rotations along the way. So in that case, think about if you're just you've got your leg kind of, up in the air and you're kind of just rotating the knee. That's FK. You're just kind of thinking about how much you need to rotate the knee. There are uses for both. It's easier for you to grab something with an IK control because it's just moving your hand instead of having to calculate all those rotations. Waving your arm, though, is more of an FK kind of thing where you want to just think about moving a thing back and forth. Not really caring about the end position or just caring about the actual rotations. So... all this to say, the IK control here can be parented to different bones thanks to Rigify. So I can say parent it to the chest. So as the chest rotates, it's going to move these controls with it. So it makes it a little bit easier to kind of get more natural looking animations. But once again, there's always possibilities. You're like, I want my hand to be placed in this position in space, regardless of where I move. Leave it there. I think that's good enough for now. I want to get something in now, and then we can test it to see if it works in Godot. Because now I'm going to use another tool called the Game Rig tool. What this does, because basically a lot of these controls aren't needed for the actual character. For Godot, all it cares about is the actual bones. But, like I said, manipulating those bones is cumbersome, and as I showed, Rigify has some fun controls that make it easier to do animations. So, I'm going to generate I got this, I want to say, from the CG Cookie. They're a YouTube channel, whoever they are. Like, Game Rig Tools. CG Dive, yeah, CG Dive. And they basically, it creates a deformation rig that then you can control with your control rig, and it allows you to bake out all of the animations. So it's not having to deal with all this extra bonage that you don't need. It's just focusing on push 10LA prefix replace from anim to baked. Okay, let's bake it. Yeah, no, as soon as I discovered this thing, it changed my life. Because all the character model, Calvin character rig here, he uses the Rigify basic rig that I use for my Pen Sword Adventures animations. But then I use the Game Rig tool to generate these better rig and animation. Animation, actions, action filter. Let us see if this exports correctly. And currently I am just exporting the character and its animations together, but I think you can separate, so you just want a file of all the animations and might run a little faster. I'll test that later tonight, I guess. Okay. There's our character. Don't think this will do anything. Yeah, because it's got none of the right bones, but this... Oh, good timing with the music, too. Woo! So now if I just drag this in, and I will make this editable for now. I will move you up into the body. Get rid of that. Just have current animation baked. Yeah, and yeah. And just for fun, let's see what it looks like. Look at him go. Ha! Whoa! For now, let's just make it local just so we can see it happen. Yeah! Bait. Okay, it doesn't quite export correct. It doesn't quite play that animation right away, but that is fine. Reset. No. Right now. You know, it's posed up, it's stanced up. I will take that as a win. Because I will need to use something called an animation tree later anyway to adjust how animations play. But yeah. We have reached a good point. This is doable. I'm confident. Okay. Yeah. For sure. All right. Let me just kind of close things down and we'll do our little sign off. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you once again for watching another Pen Sword live stream. I hope you had a good time watching. I'm gonna be continuing working on this after I get some food in me, and I'll be up till like 5 a.m. when that's when it's due. So keep an eye on the YouTube channel. I should hopefully have a video up soon about how it works or the game being done, and it'll be great. Thank you so much, especially Dylan, for watching along. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.